hit buffers. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever and whenever you're watching this content. It's just KJ, and this is going to be the next episode of Operation Silver Bullet. And first off, I want to thank you, the viewer, whoever is watching this, whatever day, whatever time, because this is what I call yo-yo ops, meaning you're on your own. That's what they say in my industry. I am just a man with a cam and an email and some connections that's trying to get things done. And I have my guest with me, who is Admiral Trina. I call her the 3V. She's a voice actress, a VTuber, and a veteran. That last part is a soon-to-be. She is a sailor of the seas and a songstress on streams, as well as a veteran voice actor, veteran in the sense of having a prolific voice acting resume. So thank you very much for coming here. And before we even breach the first question, I just want to clearly establish and elucidate that the views, comments, gifts, likes, opinions, anything that is posted here is not an endorsement by the DoD, the Department of War, the Department of the Air Force, or the Department of the Navy, respectfully. This is just two people having a conversation. And with that, Admiral Trina, thank you for joining me for Operation Silver Bullet. I want to hear your story.
Hi, it's so nice to meet you and say hi to everybody. As you said, I'm a voice actress, streamer, VTuber, and of course, a Navy girly. Yes, I've been in for
Yes.
a long time now.
Been in for yes.
Yeah, the answer is yes. I've been in for a long time, and I'm still going strong. Like, yeah, we got to go to work tomorrow, so there's that.
I'm on leave. I took leave to get this whole thing done because I would be doing PT right now with a messed up back and a messed up shoulder right now.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Sounds like somebody needs to go to medical.
I know. I've been trying to get that done, but especially on the flying side, it's really hard to get that done, especially in between sorties and whatnot.
Right. Yeah, right. I understand.
Yep. And what was your pathway to service?
So when I was younger, right, I was like, oh my goodness, I want to go. I see if you're in the military, you get to travel a lot. And that was like my biggest thing. I wanted to see things. I didn't want to be stuck in my hometown. Yeah. And honestly, a lot of sailors go to Japan. And of course, everybody wants to go to Japan, right?
Right.
So that was like
I have family that's out there right now doing things and stuff. So
I nice. Okay. So you got the fam out there. See, so you know.
Right.
Unfortunately, that never happened.
I get that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. My reason for joining was to go to Japan. That never happened. They sent me everywhere but Japan, right? Pretty much. So, I mean, I still got to go. I just had to take leave for it, but not the way I wanted, right? But it's okay because experiences, and I've seen a lot of different things and went to different places, so I can't really complain that much.
Hey, look, it's probably better that you did it on your own time and on your own dime because my family, I have Marine Corps members in my family, and trust me, I know what they get up to when they get down at in Japan, and you probably didn't want to be a part of that.
Yeah, probably not. You're right about that one.
Hey, things happen. And I'm not going to ask you where you're from, but are you from why did you choose the Navy specifically? Because I don't know if I told you, but I'm from the DMV. So there's a lot of naval history there. And I'm an Air Force guy. So it was very weird, being in a place that's all Navy. You got Annapolis, you got the Navy Yard, you got all that stuff there. And then you end up going to Air Force. But was there anything that was close to you that inspired you to do that? Or was it just, I'm just shooting for the ability to travel?
So I always wanted to be a sailor out of all the branches. Air Force, you might have it great and everything, y'all sleeping in hotel rooms and all that. However, I don't like planes. I don't like flying. So the next best thing would be a ship, right? I like swimming. So I was like, okay, that's my reason. I can swim and I like the sea. I like traveling through boat and not planes.
That's fair. But I will say this, even as an Air Force guy, naval aviators are a different breed because I do some, C2 stuff. And the guys that fly with the Navy, the carrier landings and all the stuff that they do, it's like the stuff that they do is stellar and outstanding. I get it. Everybody's talking about, the Top Gun and everything about that, like that. But, I'm just the Air Force guy, just clicking on radios and radar systems, just being like, yep, this is how things work in the background.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you that Navy got the second largest Air Force, so there's a lot of Air Force people, aviation people, right? Right. For me though, it's not for me. I'm glad I'm not doing that. No thanks. Y'all have it. Y'all can have that.
And I'm assuming seasickness wasn't a factor because I've been flying my entire life, but once I started getting into my aircraft, I started getting airsick, and I was so angry when I was constantly doing AR and stuff like that. Whenever we hook up, I just get sick. I just cannot for the life of me keep anything down.
Oh no, do you take like medicine when you fly, or like, or you just don't fly it at all?
I just try to mitigate it. So like I've done, almost 24-hour missions, and like that the morning that I get up, because we have to get up super early, like 3 hours before we even like actually get things done. And I've gotten up and I've like not straight up just not eaten breakfast, or I've had very, small light meals on the jet, while we're doing our thing. And without fail, even if I have like some dried cranberries or something like that, like without fail, it'll just come up. Um,
Oh, yeah. So you just go hungry during your mission. Ugh.
sometimes, or you can also take like the Gasper valve, and you can just like get on oxygen, because sometimes oxygen helps, or maybe where you're sitting on the plane can determine what's happening, because you may be facing afterwards, so the plane is being pulled forward, but you're facing the opposite direction and it's oscillating because you're hooked up to boom. Sometimes that will like give you vertigo. So what do? You just get up front, or just stay away from the back, because when we're doing certain landings, I could be sitting where the wheel well is at. So when we hit the landing gear, that burning rubber smell just shoots up in the cabin, and I'm already like just woozy from all the motion. And then you have that burning rubber smell that's just shooting up into your lungs, and you're just like, this might be my last mission.
I'm like, oh, I can't do
This
this
might
no
be my
more.
last mission, guys.
Oh no.
No. But I've seen like a lot of your content. I see you on social media and things like that. And I just want to know, how did you get such an encyclopedic knowledge of naval vessels and naval history? Because even as an Air Force guy, some people ask me about every single plane known to man, and I'm like, I only know my jet and maybe some of the ones that I've controlled, because we do TAC C2 stuff. But how did you get such an encyclopedic knowledge of like naval vessels and mil history?
So a lot of it is, what I know and what I'm interested in. I love checking out ships. I love checking out the museums, and some naval aviation side too. And there's actually a lot, since I've done so many topics. Normally, people write in the comments like, "Oh, can you do this topic? Can you do this one? Can you do this ship? Can you do this plane?" And so if it's something I don't know, I do my research on it, and then basically make my script and
Yeah.
write it out, and then people are like, "Hey, thank you for doing
like a
that."
like a 1 minute script. Because the one thing that I saw, and I was like, okay, when I saw this, I knew she was a real one, was the CBs. I was like, yep. I was like,
Yes,
that's some elite ball knowledge when it comes to Davies talking about the CBs.
we
I
love the
actually saw a
CVs.
guy. I actually saw a guy at the base that I'm at, because we have an Army, Navy, and Air Force. I actually saw a guy with the CB sticker, and I was just like, we are very much inland. Why is a CB's guy here? Like, he just had it on like his truck when he was going to the gym. So I might have been like a morale patch or something like that. But I was like, I know for a fact we don't have that here. So why do I see this?
I mean, somebody needs a CV somewhere. It could be they're working on AC units or something, making a building, something.
Right. But it's also funny because so the CBs, they're because they're more civil engineer, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Because on the Air Force side, I mean, Rose by any other name still has thorns, but we call them like Red Horse, because I've been to the Red Horse Squadron out in Nellis, and those guys, being in Las Vegas, Nevada, and like 105-degree weather, and being able to do all that stuff, you're out in the rock quarries, like those are some real deal people.
Yeah, there's some real ones right there.
They some real ones. I was like, man, that's tough, because I've been to a bunch of different bases, I've seen a bunch of different things, I've put my hands in a couple of different career fields, but now I'm, doing the whole aviation thing. So, but just seeing all the different aspects of what the military can do just as a team, because every single person has something to contribute to the mission. I don't care if you're a logistician. I don't care if you're, a bookkeeper, or you're a support guy, because I'm doing support stuff in the background too. Like, you're a part of the mission. So I never try to career shame people or be like, oh, you're not real because you didn't see combat or things like that. Like, no, everyone's doing something cool, and there's
Yeah,
always some type of story or history behind what you're doing.
everybody's helping out in their own way, even if you think it's insignificant. It all contributes to that big mission.
Right. Now, I'm not gonna ask you to divulge anything, but have you have any like crazy stories or things that you've witnessed or seen? Because I get the feeling that you and I have been in for a similar amount of time, and there's just tons of funny stories that we could definitely share.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is crazy, right? Being overseas, people are bored, right? They're really, really bored on watch. So they was being crazy. It's like they're on night shift and they're literally putting, they have their guns because they're on watch and they're pointing
Right.
their guns at each other. I'm like, are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. I'm like,
I'm, I'm pretty sure that's breaking one of the orders to the century.
come on, y'all. Y'all are so bored to do that. Y'all should know better, right?
No.
So yeah, that's pretty crazy. There was another one where like, somebody got like one of the people who were working there, one of the contractors, they got arrested.
Oh,
So
no.
yeah, they had like intel on them and they literally like, just walking to work one day and it was a food vendor. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, I love to go to their shop, I'm always getting their food and stuff. And he was like, blah, blah, blah. How could you do this to me? You eat at my shop every day. And, he was in handcuffs and everything. Oh, yeah, that was wild.
And it's crazy because I'll read different military news outlets, and it seems like every week or every other month there is somebody who's getting caught with classified material, either trying to transmit it to someone that they shouldn't transmit it, or just having it in a place they shouldn't. And it's just like, come on, man, we all do the security briefs. Like we know better than that. Don't do stupid stuff like that. That's an easy way to get out.
It's so easy. Come on, y'all. Y'all should know better.
No, it's just that was dumb. But I just remember some of the funniest things that I've had. It's not even been on the ops side. It's very weird. The ops side, when I've actually been, doing things and stuff, it's actually, I don't want to say boring, but it's very simplistic. Like, okay, I get up and I do the mission. I know my job to a certain extent. Like I know what I'm doing. But some of the most mundane things that I've done in the military have been the funniest. And I tell this story all the time. Brand new out of the academy. I haven't even been a lieutenant for like 100 days. And we call him second lieutenant. I'm sure you call him what, ensign?
Yeah, ensign, yeah.
Another funny story. Somebody thought I was an 06 because I said captain. Because we were at a joint base, and the guy that I was talking on the phone with was apparently a Navy guy, and I was like, "Hey, it's Captain so and so." He's like, "Oh my God, Captain so and so is coming." I was like, "No, Air Force captain, not naval captain." No, because I do not want to get hit by impersonating a superior officer. But the most mundane thing. I was a lieutenant for less than 100 days. And this was actually during COVID. COVID was still very much a thing. I had been at my training base. I wasn't actually in my undergrad flight school yet. So they said, okay, we need y'all to do something. And because of the whole COVID thing, they were staggering us. They were saying, okay, 20 of you can come in the morning, 20 you can come in the afternoon. Like, we're not going to have you all just congregating. You got to have masks and stuff. So I ended up drawing the short straw, and I ended up doing desk duty at the pharmacy. And I was basically a receptionist, and all I had to do was sit there and tell people to put on their masks.
That's it.
Who comes to the pharmacy on like a Monday, at 10 o'clock? It's usually an older retired person that's coming to get their medicine for the week. So I'm sitting here just telling these old people to put on their mask and, trying not to be a jerk about it. And this old guy, he comes in on a walker. He doesn't have a mask, and they didn't give us masks to give to them. So I wonder if they were just like playing a prank on us, or if they were having us like try to find a creative solution to this problem, because I just told him, I was like, look, sir, the rules say you got to have a mask, but nowhere in my job rules does it say I have to tackle you if you just walk past me. And he was upset. He was like, you're telling me to go back to my car and get a mask, even though I already can't walk as it is, because he was on a walker. And I said, sir, I don't make the rules. I just make the observations. And then he reaches into his jacket pocket and pulls out what I thought was a bottle of Hennessy and pops it on the desk. And he said, I need to take this urine sample in, and you're preventing me from getting to my appointment. I was like, I was not prepared to deal with this biological agent 2 feet away from me. Please get this bottle of piss off my desk.
Oh.
And it's like moments like that are the funniest. And then this lieutenant colonel just comes up and just starts shouting at me. He's like, LT, stop giving this man a hard time. He's a veteran. He served his country, and you're making him feel bad about not having a mask. And I'm just like, sir, that is a rock and that is a hard place. Do you see where I'm at? I didn't say that because I value my wings.
Yeah, you were. What could you do? What could you do at that point?
I mean, at that point, cry, but afterwards you kind of laugh about it. I mean, some of the silliest stuff that's ever happened to me, like about 10 years in, I look back at it, I'm like, you know what? That was so funny. Like even the stuff at the academy, because I didn't go to Annapolis, but I live near Annapolis. I ended up going to USAFA. But I was like, I always said this. I was like, my time at USAFA, there was a lot of stuff that happened. And I say, the day that I threw my hat in the air, I was like, see, you wouldn't want to be it. But up until I threw my hat in the air, if you asked me to do it all over again, from basic training all the way to the final day, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah, you would. Do you think you would ever like go back as an instructor?
Oh, that's a good question. I've always said this: if I ever go back, I'd want to be um, like a PE teacher.
Okay, so just like PT. Okay,
Yeah, because
the fun one.
we all had to do like physical. We all have to do like a certain PE class. I started boxing, so I'd probably go back and try to teach boxing again if I like actually studied and got the qualifications to do that. Because we all have to do a PE course. But all the stuff that happens with like they call them AOCs or commanding officers now, all the leadership stuff, dealing with the cadet drama, having to deal with some knucklehead that's doing drugs and then security forces gets called on them. That's a little too much for me. I feel like I would just like to go back to Colorado and kind of like take in the scenery and just like teach me how to box or something like that.
Yeah, that's fun. That'd be a fun class.
Yeah, but no, I kind of miss those days. And I'd say you're now the second military person or military content creator. That's such an interesting phrase, a turn of phrase that I've worked with. Have you ever worked with another, military content creator before?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, really? Because I'm seeing the whole everyone's doing like the leadership talks or like the news and current event stuff. Shout out to Kagan Dunlap. I love looking at Kagan Dunlap stuff. He was actually getting me through my deployment because I was looking at all the different stories throughout the week. But you have the skits and the entertainment. I don't know if you've heard of Sam Ekholm.
No, I haven't.
He was an Air Force Academy guy. I think he was a pilot. I don't remember if he was a pilot. I think he was rated, and then he started doing like TikToks and things like that. And his TikToks got so popular that Air Force PA kind of reached out to him and said like, "Hey, if you want to do this, do it the right way. Like, do it through us." So now he's like some content creator, and he goes around doing interviews and all these different test flights. He actually interviewed one of my classmates during one of our major exercises. So that was really cool.
Oh, that is super awesome. So he's like official now.
Yeah, he's super official. He's got like the camera set up. He's got like the drone footage of all the different stuff. He's going to different flying squadrons and talking about different stuff. He's just doing it like live action. So I don't know. You might be Sam Beckhoff. I have no idea. He might secretly be a VTuber. We just
You never know. He could be.
But because that's so perplexing to me because I love anime and cosplay and things like that, and I've always seen it as something that's kind of separate from the service. So are there any common misconceptions about being a service member and also balancing your work as, a VTuber, streamer, voice actress? Like, how do you do all that?
Oh my goodness. I have to write everything down in my calendar. I have so much things scheduled. If I don't have that, it's going to be a mess. Normally, for the most part, I'm pretty good at it. Like, I write everything down, put it in my calendar, and I have notifications on when I got to do this, that. Except this one time, I really messed up. I was like, oh no!
Don't we all?
Yes, it happens. I had like 3 things or 4 things scheduled that day, and there was one that I totally forgot about, and they're like, it was a really important interview, and I was, oh, I bombed it. Yeah, it was rough. They're like, it was the voice acting side, so I'm really disappointed that happened. But
that's tricky.
It's life. It's like there'll be other opportunities in the future.
And look, that's why we got to stop using Outlook. I'm gonna give a pitch to get us to move away from Outlook because that's
I agree. Yeah, let's use another thing, please.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, because I've worked on acquisition projects too, and that's one of the most funny things about like what we do as service members is we're all using different avenues and different. And the funny thing is, they're all sci-fi themed in name. Like there's like Kessel Run or all these, Tesseract and all these other different programs and stuff that we're using. I was like, we are such nerds, and we could not just do something simple and just put it on a calendar. I don't know. I'm an old school guy. I'd rather just like write things out like in paper and pen and stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, if it works for you, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. But it's just seeing all the acquisition of all these different contracts and services that help us just like do something as simple. And it's like we have to do a PowerPoint slide on how to schedule your freaking medical appointment so your commander doesn't get called and have to cuss you out because you didn't realize you had a medical appointment.
Oh no. You gotta do a whole lesson on it. Yeah, it sounds about right. Sounds like the military.
Ridiculous. Or like now because we have like a lightning within 5, all that stuff comes to my phone. So like every 20 minutes, whether it's like a heat condition because of the weather or something like that, like I'm getting phone messages. I'm just like, I'm at home chilling, playing Tekken. Like, I don't need to hear this. Right? I did not need you to like blow up my phone right now.
They're like notification here. You're like, no, not right now. It's not that important.
But it's kind of funny, and I appreciate what they do because I know the guys that work behind the scenes to get all that stuff. They do a lot of work because they're dealing with a lot of money and a lot of contracts and a lot of legal processes to get us to use that. So like, I really appreciate the guys that do that. I just need you to do it better.
Agreed.
But as Admiral Trina, the IP. So what came first? Like, is the chicken or the egg? Was it voice acting to military to VTubing, or was it military first, VTubing, then voice acting? Like, what was like the chain of events that got you to be who you are now?
Okay, so the first thing was voice acting. Growing up, I was watching cartoons, anime as a kid, Saturday morning, being glued to the TV, watching Pokemon, watching Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, all those kid shows.
The terrible 4Kids dubs that we just cannot forget about.
Yes, but that was my childhood. That was my exposure to anime. And I feel like it's a lot of people's first time with anime. That's when it became, more accepting in the West. They changed it. Yeah, sure. They made it like, oh boy, jelly donuts instead of rice ball. But we were kids, but it's funny looking back on it now. I always wanted to do it. I always thought it was cool that there was a person behind the voice. And I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to do that when I grow older. So, looking at myself as an adult, looking back at my kid self, I was like, I would tell myself, yes, you did it. You actually voice an anime now. And I would be like, whoa. So that's what started my voice acting ever since, as a kid. And then as I got older, I got more experience. I was practicing, auditioning for things online, doing projects with friends that I met. And after that,
doing YouTube parodies for the with the 480p.
Yes, you already know. Yes, when YouTube had to do 3 parts for the videos, 8 minutes long. Yep.
I had to watch Rock Lee versus Gara in like 5 different YouTube videos. Like he drops the weights, and I gotta watch an ad to see him do something next.
Yeah, exactly. So the OG, right? So after that, then I went military, straight out of high school, and that's when I was like, yeah, I want to travel the world. I want to see things, blah, blah, blah. I want to go to Japan. Again, that never happened, but it is what it is. Hey, who knows? I don't know. Maybe I can do it. Maybe. Who knows? There's always a chance.
Hey, look, I know some people that work in studios. I don't know. I might send this to them and be like, hey, let's pick up this Azure Lane looking character. You know what? That's actually going to be one of my questions is if your character was inspired by something like Azure Lane, or I don't know if you know this one, Arpeggio of Blue Steel.
Azure Lane, I do know. So actually, right, because I'm Navy, I wanted to have a Navy themed VTuber. So, bringing my real life self into my character. So that was the inspiration for it. Yeah, the outfits, Azure Lane inspired. Yeah. But for the most part, it's
Sailor Moon, anime schoolgirl outfit, like we get the shtick.
Yeah, you get it. You understand. You know what's up. Yeah. But that's pretty much what I wanted to do. And with VTubing, it's after I joined the military, after I've done voice acting. So streaming was, I think I was in for maybe 19, I think actually 5 years, 3 to 5 years when I started streaming since I've been in. So and now I'm doing it, all this today too. So it's fun. It's a good time.
Yeah, because everybody and their moms doing, like, I know people that are active right now that either did stream in the past or are still streaming. And one thing that I was curious about is, like, has your Twitch presence, your VTuber, all this stuff, has that been like a vector for public affairs to reach out to you, kind of like the Sam Ekholm thing? Because people will say like, oh, it's a psyop, they're trying to get the recruitment numbers up. But I'm like, I mean, yes, we say that as a joke, but let's not pretend like this isn't a commercial avenue to reach different people. I mean, we understand that.
Yeah, I really want them to reach out to me. I think that'd be so cool.
I mean, we have our own Air Force gaming team. Like we have people that go play. What's that? I only play fighting games. What's that game that everyone plays?
Fortnite.
It's a big League of Legends. We have our own Air Force League of Legends team. So let's not pretend like we're not. The military is not full of a bunch of weebs, and we're just going to try to find ways to network and do outreach. That just seems like a very easy thing to do.
I agree. I'm like, come on, there's other avenues. They have an esports team. I think all branches have an esports team. You guys have it too?
Yeah, we have one. I wish there was one for the FGC because I've almost gone to Evo a couple times, and I was like, man, if you just have an Air Force Tekken team, I would kill it.
That would be you. You got to start it. You got to contact and be like, we need this. We need this to happen.
I don't know, because we're sitting in the clubhouse, holding video game tournaments, personally. So why not just bring it to conventions? Because what I like about the area that I'm in is there's so many different conventions. Like I didn't start going to conventions until after I had graduated and after I had finished my undergraduate training. Like even as a teenager, I never did it because I was just so focused on school.
Right.
And I just remember like being here, being in this area, like I went to like 5 or 6 different conventions in one year just because it's so easy and so accessible. And there's also a lot of military presence there. Like we've had, our base has, sponsored and provided volunteers for these different conventions. And there's like always gaming tournaments there. I'm like, it just seems like it's right next door. We could just very easily, open that up as an option.
Yeah, I agree. Come on now. I think that would be really good. And, it helps show people, hey, look, you can play video games in the military. Not saying that, I mean, it's true, you do. I mean,
see, because you know about the technology. I mean, the Xbox controller interface, you would be surprised how many Xbox controllers we use just in our day-to-day operations just because of how ergonomical it is. Like, it's just really funny.
That is so
Like
funny. Oh my goodness.
Or like did you ever take like I don't know if they call it this in the Navy, but the T-Bass?
The T-Bass,
You probably took the ASVAB, but that's
ASVAB.
Yeah.
ASVAB.
The test of basic aviation skills. It's like you have a joystick. It's literally like a yoke stick, like an actual pilot, and then you have like the rudders and the pedals. It's all to test, like it's called test of basic aviation skills. So it's helping you deal with like maneuverability and things like that. Like I don't know if you ever took that as part of your introductory test.
No, but it's like you're playing a video game, kind of.
I mean, essentially, the job that I'm doing is very much like a video game. I mean, there's dots on the screen. It looks like Galaga.
I love that.
It's just, when we're seeing there's actual, pilots in there. And then when we click on the radio, you can actually hear the jets. It was actually really funny. I have this one story. It was, I call it my first ever combat kill. It wasn't really a combat kill. We were doing a control mission out in somewhere in the U.S. and I was controlling some fighters, actually like live fighters, and we were doing some exercises and things like that. Mission's over, they do the whole RTB, we send them off on their way. They're landing. We're about to land, and we're strapped in. We're ready to land, and then out of nowhere, I heard, boom. I was like, oh, what just happened? And then the section leader, he's just like, guys, I know somebody heard that. What was that? Please tell me that wasn't your water bottle falling off the top. And then we listen to the pilot, and the pilot he's like, yeah, I see blood on the wing spar. It's like, yeah, I see blood on the wing spar. We're gonna land this plane now because we had a lot of time left to do our mission. And then there was a bird that hit the wing spar. I was like, that sucks.
Oh, poor bird. I'm sure it's happened before though. Poor birdie.
And it was so funny because the controller that I was controlling, he was doing stuff. He wasn't talking to me throughout the entire duration of the mission. So I was giving him his combat calls and everything. And the one time he spoke up to me, actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to tell that story because so he said something that was really funny. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna, that's like a call sign story.
Okay.
But no, I just love stuff like that. But when it comes to VTubing as an agency, can you sort of explain the process of that? Because that's still something that I'm not totally familiar with. Like, how do you develop the character? Is the character owned by the agency? And how does the agency manage you?
So it depends on what agency you join, right? Some of them you will have to start fresh. You'll have to start with their character, their IP, what their model is. So they bring you a model and you use it. For me, this agency, because it's a smaller one, I was able to bring my character to the agency. So even if I leave the agency, I get to keep my IP.
Nice.
So I own the character. They just help with, supporting as in like merch or like, exposure or going to like conventions and stuff.
Right. And when you created the character, was it like something that was hand drawn? Because I get it. Like people I've met like 1 or 2 VTubers, but like they have their own rigs or they have their own setup. They have like the 2D model versus the 3D models. Like, did you create all of that on your own, and how does that work?
So I can't draw. I definitely can't draw. There is so many amazing artists that I contacted and actually found them, on social media. So X, there's a lot of them, and VGen too. And I was like, oh my goodness, I like their art style. I see they do, VTuber models. So I'm like, hey, can you draw this for me? I just give them an idea. I show them designs or examples, and I'm like, go for it, draw whatever you think is good, as long as, it's got the Navy theme, and boom,
Right.
this is how it happened. I'm like, yeah, I love it. I love it.
And look, oh shoot. Matter of fact, I'm about to upload mine because I've had people I've commissioned people to do some artwork for me, and I've done things like that. You're not seeing my actual stuff, are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay, cool. Because I'm about to go into my email and find it. But no, it's like I've had artists like commission artwork for me because I've started like doing Twitch and stuff like that, and I have my own little thing that I do for like my FGC stuff. And I was like, man, I wish I could like make this into a model. But I haven't. I don't actually know how like the models and things work. So I'm just like, I don't really know how all that works. So I'm just gonna leave it where it's at. But I was like, I see all these people doing these different characters and different models and different designs. I'm just like, that seems really cool. I wish I could. I wish I could get into that because I'm not the greatest artist either.
I'm telling you, you can find somebody who can make your dream a reality.
Because I've reached out to you on Twitch and you've seen like my Twitch thing, right? Because my Twitch is more like FGC related stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So
you can do it. I mean, there's a niche for everything.
Yeah, because I was actually my like actual profile is I'm actually going to try to start streaming Kingdom Hearts because that's my favorite series of all time. I wish I had my Keyblade with me. I was actually going to post my Keyblade design, but I can't find it right now. But Kingdom Hearts is like my favorite series ever. So I have the Keyblade emblem and all that stuff. But there was one question I had to ask, and it's about like the agency coming to yours because I did a little bit of background research, and I guarantee you it's probably difficult to balance because everyone has their comments and their opinion about the state of the world and the state of the military. I've had people in my own family that have said things about being in the service and service members, but has an agency ever come to your defense with your status as a service member, and what was like the catalyst behind that?
Yeah, so Virtual Pulse actually defended me. So he's actually the owner, right? He's actually our Army Reserves too. So veteran owned kind of thing, which made people think more I'm a psyop.
Veteran VTubing. Hold on, no, that's awesome.
So
that's a brand.
So that was a lot of the other agencies that have VTubers. Some of them that I collab with, they actually defended me in the comments too, which was really nice. They're like, she's not like some, things that they were saying in the comments, which were crazy during that time. Oh my goodness.
Because I've been back in, because I listened to all my different, military content creators, and they have a lot of stuff to say. Like I'll look at the comments and you'll just see like, I'm not even going to repeat them, but just like people just saying ridiculous, nonsense things about service members. And it's like, look, first off, we just do our job. I literally just do what I do what I have to do. And I was in DC a while ago, and I remember the stuff that happened with the National Guardsmen that were there. So, I mean, God rest their souls and all the stuff that happened to them. But I mean, that's something that we see quite often. It's just people just harassing service members and things like that. And it really feels frustrating, especially when you're on the VTubing and the streaming and the voice acting side, that yes, you're still a service member, but you have other things that you're interested in. So people just bring that type of drama to you, and you kind of just have to, yes, be the bigger person and be the professional. But it's just, it gets really frustrating when people just don't know how to separate their, political or personal opinions from, I guess, how do I say it? The entertainment aspect.
Yeah, I agree. Because we're people too, okay? Our entire personality is not military, I promise you. We have hobbies. We like things. We're human.
Yeah, things and stuff. Was it things and stuff with people in places at times for reasons? That's
yes.
I'm still trying to find it. I'll show it later. It's fine. But considering you are a VTuber and a voice actress, I did a little bit of preliminary research, and you voiced Nokotan in My Dear Friend Nokotan, and now I have more of a reason to put that on my watch list because it's on there. I have like 100 different series that are in my backlog that I just have not finished. What was that like?
So that was an amazing experience. Actually, so normally when you do voice acting stuff, they your agent, voice acting agent sends you auditions, right?
Yeah.
This time, this was different. These people contacted me They messaged me.
You were BNR. You were BNR. That's what it was.
I was like, "What is this? I don't like. Who are these people?" They're like, "Oh, we need you to like. We need you to audition. Can you send us samples?" I said, "Okay, sure."
Yeah.
Send my demo reel and all that. And they're like, "Oh, well, can you like go sign up for our website?" And I'm like, "What is this?"
That sounds super sketchy.
So sketchy, red flags everywhere. But I searched their name, and they were like legit. Like I saw them. It was called Alcatia, and they did dubs in Portuguese. So this was actually the first time doing dubs in English.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I guess they're legit, question mark, maybe. So
I mean, considering the Japanese presence in Brazil, I don't know. They may have a Brazilian animation studio that they're trying to get.
Right, maybe. And they did like, a lot of popular anime. They did like Demon Slayer and a lot of other ones too. And I'm like, okay, so maybe they are legit. And
the Spanish Cell.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
The Spanish dub of Cell from Dragon Ball.
Oh man.
That's
so
funny.
After that, they sent me an NDA, so I signed that, and I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
When I did the audition, I didn't know what the anime was. I don't know what I was auditioning for. They sent it to me during that live session, during the call, and they were like, okay, you're going to voice this deer girl. I'm like, okay, generic deer girl. I saw the picture of her and Koshitan, the blonde girl. And I'm like, all right, sure. And I didn't know anything about this anime at all, because I didn't, nothing was online about it until like a few weeks later after I did the audition. They had that meme going around everywhere where she was dancing.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, yeah, this is actually going to be legit. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't talk about it because NDA stuff. But it was really cool. And the audition process was crazy because you had to audition the first 11 minutes of episode 1. So I had to do all the lines of that. And I'm like, normally you only do like maybe like 2 or 3 minutes of a scene. So doing 11 was a lot.
Hey,
but
you were VNR. They handpicked you to be a dear friend Nukaton.
Yeah, literally. And that's crazy because a lot of the other cast, when I talked to them later, I found out their stories. Yeah, they had to audition for the character. So I had a completely different experience from them. So for me, they contacted me through email. For the Koshitan, the blonde girl, they contacted her voice actress through LinkedIn. So they were contacting us all different ways. Like we all got into this anime and it was wild, right? It's just so crazy to hear our different stories on how we got this project. So it was amazing though. I love voicing the anime and I was happy that I was able to voice Nokotan. A crazy show because she turned to like this man JoJo buff version of herself. And I'm like, okay. I was like, all right, sure.
Oh, you know what it reminds me? Because I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen like the clips and the compilation. It reminds me of Nichijou.
Yes, like Nichijou. Deer fight too in that show. Yup, exactly that.
Look, she didn't do the little screw attack where she like flips the deer on the side and like pins the goat to the ground.
Yeah. Right.
I love stuff like that. What was the studio? Because it wasn't Gainax, because I'm a huge Studio Gainax stan, and I was like, no, I know it wasn't Gainax.
No, it wasn't Gainax. Nokotan Studio. What was it?
Wait, because it's the 4th of July. Gainax was supposed to release a new project over the 4th of July. I need to look that up now.
Yeah, you got to. With Studio, so they did Attack on Titan and Spy Family for Nokotan.
That checks.
Right?
I am the type of person, like when I was a kid, I would always read like the credits of all the different movies that I watched. Like even when I'm watching anime, like I know the studios, I know the artists, I know anything by Shinichiro Watanabe is going to be straight fire. Like I just, like I have an encyclopedic knowledge of this. If only I had an encyclopedic knowledge of airplanes.
One day, you got it. You can always learn. Start today.
Hey, I know what I need to know about my planes to make sure that they come home.
That's all.
How did you go about finding your voice as Nokotan? Because it was more of like a slapstick comedic series, and that's kind of different than, I wouldn't say most other anime, because a lot of anime is more like slapstick and comedy nowadays. But like I want to get an idea of like your range, because you've been in this for a while. So how did you find your voice as Nokotan?
Listening to the Japanese dub was basically my inspiration. When you dub anime, you watch the scene first and you see how the Japanese voice actress does it, and then you do your take on it. So her voice for me is like nasally high pitched. So she sounds like this. No.
You pulled a Faye Mata.
Faye Mata, yeah.
You pulled a Faye Mata with Haruhi Suzumiya, which
Yep.
we need another season of.
Oh yes, please. I need Haruhi. That was my childhood anime.
I met Faye Mata a couple of years ago, and she was awesome.
Oh, she's so
What
good.
you know what
Yeah.
shook me up? She played I want to see if you know this one. This is some old school stuff. She played Kiva in Megas XLR.
Wow, really?
I didn't know that until I met her and I saw the Kiva. I was like, you played Kiva in Megas XLR? I was like, wow, that's an obscure one.
She's in a lot of amazing anime. Oh man, I love her voice.
Yeah, but like if you go to conventions, like I'll see different voice actors and things, and like I met Phil Lamar a couple weeks ago, and like everyone knows Phil Lamar as like Kit Fisto or Samurai Jack or
Yep.
Green Lantern, but or Kodo Khan in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, everybody knows him.
But I also didn't know he was Ollie in Family Guy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The guy that just says it's go right. That's Phil Lamar.
That's him.
That's actually Phil Lamar.
Oh wow, yeah, he's done a lot.
And another one, I kind of threw a joke at him because I did a interview with him too. Is I didn't know he was in Pulp Fiction.
I didn't know that either. What?
He's Merv.
Oh my god.
Because I was a little kid and I saw Samurai Jack and I had the you probably know this too. I had the black VHS cassette tape that had the beginning episode 11 of Samurai Jack, and it had like the Craig McCracken like director's cut at the end, and they were doing the interviews with Phil Lamar and stuff like that. And I remember when I was an adult, I grew up and I watched Pulp Fiction, and I saw the credits and I saw Phil Lamar. I was like, wait, Phil Lamar was in this? I was like, oh no, he was the guy that got shot in the car in the middle of the movie.
That was him. Oh.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing. Shot Marv in the face. But when it comes to acting and things like that, because of range, and I don't know how long and how far you're gonna take this, but would you say you have a specific character archetype for your voice? Because I'm just someone who watches a lot of anime and listens to a lot of the same people over and over again. Like you can kind of tell, the Big 12. You can sort of tell who's voicing who. But how have you established yourself as a voice actress, and like what archetype or what type of character do you think represents you?
So a lot of them actually, I get cast to do like tomboys a lot, like surprisingly. For me, my favorite characters to play are like the cute airheaded ones. Yeah. But like my typecast is definitely like tomboys, tough girls.
Wait, you're not Tomo-chan, are you? Because that's in my list.
No, but
you watch Tomo-chan.
I know Tomo-chan. A lot of people actually like, are you the voice for Tomo-chan? I'm like, no. But my voice sounds similar to her when I do my tomboy voice. So they're like, oh yeah, you sound like her,
Yeah. And you've been doing this professionally, but were there any independent projects that you were part of? Because like I feel like in the early 2000s, like 2010s, YouTube era, like a lot of people that I guess if VTubing would have been a thing back then, a lot of people would have gotten into like the mainstream industry from doing like their own side projects, the YouTube parodies and like fan fan parodies and abridged series and things like that. Have you ever done anything like that, or did you just jump straight into the more industry level productions?
Oh yeah, I've done like tons of abridges, like starting off early. Oh my, I feel like every voice actor did. Yeah. I did so many. I did like a Persona abridge. I did like a Fate Zero abridge, a Magi Brilliant Park abridge. So many.
Wow, that's
Pokemon abridge. Yeah, a lot.
So you probably worked with Megami 33 and Takahata 101 then.
Yeah, I have.
Oh.
Yeah, the abridged legends.
The Helsing Abridged is still top 10, just best series on YouTube. It's just one of those, like, you have to watch it.
Top tier.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And between VTubing and being a voice actor, and everything else that you do, what would you say is your favorite type of content to make? Is it the mill history stuff? Is it the skits? Is it your voice acting? Is it your songs? Because I've seen that you've produced some of your own music.
Yeah, so it's so fun. I really like to make the shorts because a lot of people are really connected with it, and they're like, I love this topic, or like, no, this isn't right, blah blah blah. Like it's funny, and people really resonate with them, and I really love it because a lot of them are like, can you do this topic? Can you do that topic? And it's just so fun. Plus, yeah. I learn too, things that I don't know. It's good to know, right? It's good knowledge, and people really, they actually learn from these videos, and there's some of them are like, which is crazy, like I joined because of you. I'm like, what? Huh? Huh?
Join the military or join the voice acting?
Join
Like
military. I was like, what? So it's cool. A lot of them actually DM me on Instagram. They're like, yeah, I'm going to boot camp. I'm like, okay, let me know how it is in 2 months.
I would just like to establish that I have no knowledge of Admiral Trina being a psyop or
I'm
being
not a
an official
psyop.
recruitment tool for the U.S. military.
I promise
That's
you,
not
I'm
how it's
not.
working. I mean, but jokes aside, like I was watching a video about this, I think late last night. I was like, that's kind of how things end up happening. Like people just either like there are some guys that I know. It's like, hey, either you're joining the military or you're going into the call lines, or you've been running the streets. Like either you're going to go join the Marines, or you're probably going to end up in jail. Like do something with your life. And then some of those people, they get in after boot camp, and then their trajectory in life completely changes. And I've also known some people that wanted to be in the military and were not good at it. So it's everyone's different journey to service is different. I came in knowing exactly what I wanted to do and spending 10 years trying to get that. So hopefully by the time I hit 30, I'll get a little bit closer.
I think you will. Definitely.
Yep. And are there any upcoming projects or events? Like I saw you did the whole the nerd and jock VA thing. So like I see the different like intermittent skits that you do. I don't know if you have like just a backlog of stuff that you're posting, but do you have any upcoming projects or events? I think you've done like a charity stream. You've had like another merch drop. Anything like with like products or things like that. So what's next for like the Admiral Trina IP?
So for me, actually, I'm doing a stream July 18th where I'm going to be the front page on Twitch. So that's going to be really, really cool.
I'm going to raid you. I'm just going to let you know that right now. I'm going to raid you.
Please do. I'll shout you out.
Me and my shadow clone, because it's literally just like me and like one friend from the FGC.
That's a real one right there.
I knew you were there for the beginning.
And also, I also have a convention that I'm going to. I'm guesting in Washington, D.C. It's called Otakon.
Otakon?
Yeah, Otakon, July 31st to August 2nd. So I'll be there.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to miss you. I've burned up too much leave and I've burned up a lot of money. I've had to travel a lot lately. So I'm afraid.
Listen, I understand. It's okay. I'm doing more conventions in the future. So
to this day, I still have not been to Otakon.
Never, ever. It's a big one.
I didn't start going to conventions until I was about like 23, 24.
Oh, yeah, I mean.
And I kept them local.
Right. That's fine. You have a lot of local conventions. So honestly, you really don't have to travel so much because you can go to so many.
And now I've started doing like photography and videography because I've been working on that in the background too. Like the last convention I was at, I took like 1,200 photos.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. And I still need to upload them. I'm going to get them to you, Jack. I promise. I will. I've been busy lately. That's why I took leave. I'm going to do this on my leave time.
Right. You're working on your leave.
But, and the last couple of questions just for the wrap up is to plug your socials. Where can the good people find you? I know you have a greater reach, but anyone that comes here from the Silver Bullet, I always plug my social for my people.
Thank you. I am Admiral Trina. You can find me on X, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, pretty much anywhere, honestly. You'll find me.
Yeah. And I always ask this is the silver bullet, the ultimate question. It's a very serious question no matter what interview I do. I always ask if you could add or subtract one thing from your life, add to or subtract one thing from your life that would increase your station in life, that would advance your life goal, what would that be? Most people say money or like either add money or take away debt. So I'm going to take that away from you. You can't be anything money or debt related.
Okay, moving will open up so many opportunities for me. Please, military, if I do not stay in, please send me to where I actually want to be. Texas, please, or California, please. So that would be really helpful for me because as a voice actor, a lot of them want you to be in person, in studio.
That's true.
So I would thrive if I'm over there.
That's true. And that, especially being in the Navy, by California, you're right by the Pacific, it's your strategic location.
I'm telling you, come on now. Come on. I need to.
Or you go to South Padre and just, be a privateer.
Sure.
No, but I thank you so much, Admiral Trina, for joining me for this episode of Operation Silver Bullet. Is there anything else that you have for the friends, family, and fans back there?
Remember, everyone, if you're thinking about joining the military, please do your research. I'm not a psyop. I'm not a recruiter. It's not for everybody, okay?
Yes.
It might be for You and me, but maybe not somebody else, right?
No, I'm just letting you know if I get an email from the Navy or from Air Force PA, I'm going to contact you and I'm just going to dime you out. I'm like, look, I had nothing to do with this. This was just something that I was doing on my spare time.
Right.
Look, I was going to pass on that order to the Century because, like, in the beginning, I actually did some naval ROTC, and I still remember some of the. Excuse me, I don't remember all of them, but I definitely remember order number 6.
Yeah, right.
So I will receive, obey, and pass on to the Century who released me.
Yeah.
All orders for the commanding officer, command duty officer, officer of the day, and all officers and petty officers of the watch only.
That's right.
I will sing like a canary. But no, this has been a wonderful interview. It's only been 50 minutes, but it has been a dense and wonderful 50 minutes. You really made my day. You really made my 4th of July. I appreciate you to the fullest. Thank you so much, Admiral Trina, for joining me for this episode of Operation Silver Bullet.
And thank you for having me. And I hope you get a lot of rest, even though, you're still working when you're sick. Sometimes you just got to take a break,
Yeah, I need to
take
get
a nap
or something like that. I got two more meetings I got to do after this too. So it's just like, I'm just going back to back.
Back to back, busy. Go ahead.
Yeah. But if I see you on Twitch, I'm definitely going to raid you with me and my shadow clone.
Will do. I'll shout you out.
Appreciate you to the fullest. Thank you.
Thank you.